YouTube is the casino. Casino always wins. You can't beat the casino itself. That's the rule. You can't totally beat it. You can count the cards, you can push up the videos, you can create technical tactics and whatnot. You can do exciting stuff. You can't do it forever, but you might be successful, like going into casino, winning some, and then you can lose it all because you're doing a professional job. It's not fun anymore. It's a job. So think about it like this. If it's a hobby, like this channel, no problem. When it grows, you need to know how to grow it. But if you don't have a plan for that, don't start ever. So if you're thinking this is a career along the way, it might be, but it's not going to be for a long time. Welcome to Home Cinema and Tech Review. In this video, I'd like to talk about why YouTubers are quitting and why they have to, or why in the future a lot of the known good content creators are going to leave the YouTube, and how are you going to survive if you're ever thinking to get into YouTube train or get on to this train. So before that, you might be thinking, hey, this guy has only 3,000 subscribers. What does he know? I am managing businesses and I'm creating content for big brands in other channels about 15 years and plus. I have a couple of studios, so I know how to create millions of views, and I know create content and how much it costs and how much it also consumes you while you create it. So I know all the aspect of managing your business, how much that people pay from brands to YouTubers. I also pay sometimes for different YouTubers while I manage stuff for companies and brands, and I also manage my own YouTube as just for fun. So in this video, you're going to find answers. If you're going to dive, or if you're just watching this video, whenever or wherever you are, if you're ever planning to get onto the YouTube train, how are you going to survive and how you should be managing this. So this video won't be short. So you can stop here and get a cup of coffee, and then we can continue, or tea, and enjoy this ride together. So before getting into detail, I have topics written into this page, but I will probably expand it along the way of this video. I hope this video will be useful for many of the people. Many of the YouTubers personally I follow is also going out or quitting from YouTube, or at least they are giving a big break, like 1 year or 6 months, no video creation, and they just want to get their heads around the stuff that they have been doing for probably a decade or over. So let's start. Why people quit? The money is not the only problem, but obligations, and also there are lots of topics here which will be probably written in the screen. I'll try to explain as much as possible. When you start YouTube in a young age, and many of the YouTubers did this because YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and also many other social platforms like TikTok, whatever that is, they are kind of like new. And if you are around 40 years, you have been witnessing this for around 20 plus years, and it's been evolving too fast. But if you started in the early years like Linus or MKB HD like Marcus Brownlee, or many of the DSLR video shooter, or like Deep Review closed, and Digital Camera Store, I guess, closed again. There are a lot of content creators along the way have been creating a content like Engineering Explain. He's a good guy, great guy, explains a lot of stuff. And also Veritasium, we all know, we watch it if we are enthusiastic about learning stuff. These guys are creating content with a lot of, effort, and creating some sort of a knowledge over their experiences. So it's difficult to continue on a long run. But let's just start with the topics you'll be probably interested most if you're thinking to starting a YouTube channel. The first thing is first, if you're young and enthusiast, it's a dream job, okay? But you're not paying the rent, you're not paying the bills of electricity, internet, or whatever that you need to have, like a room space, rental space cost. These are not going to be a problem for you because your parents going to handle that, okay? You're just shooting videos inside of a room. And when you get paid from brands, even the little payments will be like a gift to you, okay? You're doing a hobby and you're getting paid. that's plus. But like every hobby, when it becomes a job, you have to, keep continue and keep to be better at it, and to gain more money, because your costs are increasing, and also when your experience is increasing. When you get older, you get more experience and you want to get paid more, so you have to create more professional work. And the professional work means that you're going to invest to your work, you're going to work harder, and again, everything just goes around as a circle. So you have to create better videos. To do that, you have to grow the channel, you have to hire people, or without hiring, you have to work more. Even the artificial AI helps these days. It doesn't matter. You have to think more than anybody else to make the content pop out too much. Everything, like from thumbnails to the content itself. So it's a hard work. So you have to work quite a lot more than other people think so. If you haven't produced a video, any video, professionally, starting from scratch, creating a text, and then shooting it, b-roll it, edit it, and publish it, think about the thumbnail and stuff, it's a lot of work. So if you have known this, like if you tried it before, you probably know what I mean by now. So the money is along the way, is a happening, as a journey. When you grow older, you need more money. When you have families, when you have kids, you have bills to pay, then YouTube is not going to be efficient enough for you to pay everything if you're not going to get on the fast lane train. If you're going to do it like me, I'm doing it a casual way. This is not my income. This is not professional, like I have to grow this channel kind of stuff. I'm doing it as a hobby. So this is not my income. So I am happy with it. Like if I do something, I share with you. If I don't, then I am not going to be able to share with you. If the channel grows, more sponsors will come, and probably I will do more giveaways, like gifted polls. I will share the products with you because I don't actually need anything from this channel. And one more thing, the discount codes probably help you and help me to get better things and try them out. I love trying new stuff. That's why my channel exists. Just think about it. I'm not sharing my personal name with you, and the channel name is Home Cinema and Tech. Come on. If I planned this channel as a 15 to 20 year experience, PR manager, content creator for different companies, I would have chosen something specific to remember easily. When you Google this, Home Cinema and Tech, this is a generic name, and everything will be pop up other than me, because this channel doesn't have too much of a subscribers yet. So it's not going to be popping out. I would have chosen something special and easy to remember for you if I was planning to grow this channel as a business plan, okay? But I'm doing it as a hobby. That's make it unique. Instead of other YouTubers, they have to create content, they have to take your attention, which I will talk about this topic. I'm just telling my story, my point of view, how I create stuff in this channel, hopefully in the future too. So with your help, of course. So I've talked about the money. I talk about how the enthusiasm and amateur soul begins as a young generation or newbie. You get excited, you get new stuff, and for even a barter, you get the product and you review it and you'll be happy with it, happily ever after. But that is not going to pay the bills in the long run, so you have to work harder. So we talk about the cycle. And one more thing, you get older. After a certain age, probably a lot of the YouTubers are going to get long-time YouTubers, about 15 years. They are getting close to the 40th age, okay? The 40 is kind of like you're asking yourself, why am I existing in this life? I'm getting older, I have responsibilities, and also asking the questions about, and it's a must question, by the way, why do I exist as a person, as a human being? That's where the belief comes in. That's where the actions with the beliefs are also just getting things together, like how do I describe it? If you don't have a proper belief, so then you're going to be standing on a edge of a cliff from a soil. But if you have a belief, you're going to stand off an edge of a cliff from a rock to a soil. which one do you think will be sturdy to keep you on that spot? So life is like that. It's not just going to be happening statically. So some people get ill, you can lose your relatives. So you have to keep your mindset and you have to believe in the afterlife somewhat or not. As a Muslim, for me, it's not a problem in my belief, just gathers everything for me and the books that I read. And I also read books from other beliefs to compare to my belief, where I'm happily to say, Alhamdulillah, I'm a Muslim, by the way. So this is easy thing for me to, understand when I read all these other religions as well. But if you don't have a solid belief, you have to also question a lot of stuff. And when you question a lot of stuff, you also question how much you work and how much does this work means in a afterlife, or how much I'm going to spend myself to get more money or to be at least reachable from people. Like, it is also about the fame. When you want to be known from different people, like when you want to get famous, then it becomes an issue, because if your videos, like if you do it like a personalized too much, and if you want to your name, your work to be your name and your signature, and if you don't watch, people don't watch you amount of quantity that you desire, after a while when you get on a peak level, like you've been watched the millions and stuff, and then suddenly it drops down by YouTube algorithm, then you feel like you're not worthy enough, or you might feel it's not, you're doing something wrong. Even though your content is right, everything is right, you feel exhausted and you feel lost, and people don't care about you if you personalize too much. If you do it like a separation, business management and the content creation, or if you can think of it like a business, then you can separate the timings and you can spend some time to your family, then you can spend time to yourself, and that will be also better for your psychological point. And also maybe you can find some time, you should be finding time for your belief. Whatever you want to believe, you have to learn what's the purpose of life somehow. Even if you don't have the exact answer, you have to learn the point of life, the meaning of it. So to do that, you have to look for religions. Other than that, that's one of the issues for long-time YouTubers. Like, they have to ask themselves, what am I doing here? What am I doing in this world? What should I be learning? And many of the YouTubers probably do tells the similar stuff. Like, they can't really point out as a religion, or questioning the life itself and their own life around that road or something. So they start to question how much time they spend, and the job is eating themselves, like a company, big company job. You have to work along the way, and it's always eating you, beating you. You have to compete with other people. But believe me when I say so, YouTube or content creation is way worse than working in a company, because it will eat you up and probably sugar you out. Let's just put it in a polite way, eat you up and sugar you out. So that's one more thing. And making things are getting easy, like creating content cost is getting low. What I mean by that is getting a camera is getting cheaper every day. 10 years or 15 years ago, you have to own a handycam or somewhat of a camera to shoot yourself. You wouldn't care about the microphone and audio quality. You would shout. Believe me, in the early days, you can look up MKBHD and also Linus Tech Tips kind of like guys. You can look back to their videos and see how they started. But it's not now. They started 15 to 20 years ago. So the difference is the cost of camera back then was expensive. Not everybody had the chance of getting a good camera. Not everybody had the chance, the proper internet, the PC connection, the editable, the knowledge of editing a video or non-editing, at least uploading, or nobody to teach you stuff to do, how to do stuff. So they are one of the pioneers. So if you're looking to this business as, look, pioneers are successful, they are pioneers. They have been doing this business over decades. So they should be on the front. That's normal. But if you start now, The cameras are extremely cheaper. Everybody has cell phones. Everybody has some sort of a GoPro. Right now, I'm shooting with the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. It costs less than $500 for a basic kit. And if you include the $30, $35 microphone that I reviewed early in the channel, so your cost is, I have right now slow motion, 4K, 120p, 2.7K, Full HD, gimbal camera, which can track me so I don't need extra operator. I can shoot whatever I want. As a 15 to 20 year of professional cinema experienced guy. So I can shoot with it quite easy. So how much do you think it's going to cost people to create content? Zero, because they all have phones. So everybody create contents. And as far as I remember, if numbers might change, but in a single day, probably more than 100 years of watch time content is been uploaded to YouTube. How much do you think that your videos is valuable compared to 10 or 15 years ago? Just think about it. How unique do you think you are? So it's getting difficult, far more difficult to pop out. We are judging the YouTube. Everybody judges the YouTube algorithm. It can be changing. It might be. Or the company choice. YouTube is choosing a different algorithm or different procedure to push the videos out. That's their opinion, and you have gotten on to this train by knowing it. YouTube is the casino. Casino always wins. You can't beat the casino itself. That's the rule. You can't totally beat it. You can count the cards, you can push up the videos, you can create technical tactics and whatnot. You can do exciting stuff. You can't do it forever, but you might be successful, like going into casino, winning some, and then you can lose it all. So I guess in a position, probably a lot of people just grow their channel and their expectation in a certain level just drops down a lot along the way. By the way, the creating content is getting difficult in the same time, because if everybody gets cameras and if everybody uploads some stuff without knowledge, without quality, without ethics, okay, everyone can create anything these days. So you have to create exciting stuff, and getting exciting for people is much more difficult exponentially, okay, because everybody is doing something exciting for people to watch them. That's also one other big problem of YouTube. YouTube is not an ethical stage. It's like a TV stage, okay? When you watch a TV or Netflix TV series, it doesn't matter what you watch. The companies who build channels or create contents think about one thing in the first place: how much money that they are going to make. If they're going to think ethical, it's going to be the problem of art. Art is for people or art is for artists? This is the question of ages, okay? This is the long question. So if you do an art movie, probably the watchability and the gain of money from that movie will be less, lot less than a movie like a blockbuster, okay? Like, it's going to be more entertaining, more exciting, and it's going to be probably repeating some stuff that already been shot, but more technical, more fun, like big budgets and stuff. But it's not going to be educating. It's not going to be intelligent as it should be. It's just entertaining purposes. Like, you know by now what I mean. You can create knowledge like Veritasium, but it's difficult to do so. And if you can't do that, how are you going to, take people attention? Like a couple of examples. If you are walking in a big street, okay, with crowded people like going back and forth, how are you going to take the attention? You got a couple of options. You can dress normal or cool with a good dress, and some people might look at you. That's a good content creation with a certain level of ethics, certain level of shooting capabilities, okay, everything built up. If you're a professional, you created something. A gentleman walking with a good dress or sportive dress, whatever, but the cool, good looking dress and good physique and walking in the street, or a lady. Is it going to take attention? It might be, some, with the careful eyes. The second thing is you can walk naked. Then everybody will look at you. So there is nothing ethical about it. There is nothing intelligent about it. There is nothing useful about it. You're just embarrassing yourself and showing off people something crazy to look at. So that's one way to look at things. If you want to get famous, you people or new generation like Z, X, Y, A, Q, I don't know where we are going at generations, but still it means when the newbie comes, without the experience, without the ethics, they will probably do some crazy, unnecessary stuff to take attention. This might be unethical, but the algorithm won't be caring about that. Algorithm will be looking at the views, and also, unfortunately, the companies and the sponsors are looking at the views. They're not going to be looking at the quality. They will look at the quantity because they want to reach broader audience. So, what happens? What happens next? Companies choose new donkeys, new horses to ride. Think about like yourself as a racehorse, okay? When you're young, you're running fast, you're a racehorse, you perform all the time. You eat a lot, you work harder, you gain muscle, and you run. But after a while, you got old. You lose the temptation for the work. You lose the enthusiasm. You lose the passion of to do so. Then what happens? The newbie comes, young man comes, and he runs for a carrot lot longer than you and lot faster than you. You do run for a whole meal. So that's what happens. Things go cheaper, quality goes down, and then the views just pass on to the next horse. So, I think some of the YouTubers cannot accept this topic. Like, they have to give this carrot to the next horse, or they have to leave the racetrack to the next horse, or they have to run, they have to hire new people to run for them, kind of like creating a company like the Linus or MKBHD, like creating a content creation business. I'm not saying they are just riding the new horses, like they are creating teams and everybody may be happy around them, but they are working hard and they are continue to work hard with a team, not by themselves. So people either have to grow and create people around them like a company, and they become the company and managing business. It's something different than starting point of creating. And some of the YouTubers probably already mentioned this, and I might, leave their links at the description below. Why they think they are going to quit? They're thinking something like, this is a great job. Probably MKBHD also said the similar stuff. Like, even if you think this is a dream job, this is still a job. And when your hobby becomes your job, it's different. Let me just explain this. I'm a professional photographer over 15 years. I'm probably more than 15, like 18 years, but I refer to 15 because it makes me look at least a little younger. So for the 15 years, but before the 15 years, I was a hobbyist. I was going out with the cameras, shooting stuff, enjoying the sun, enjoying the sunrise, sunset. I could go out whenever I want because I wasn't busy like this, okay? So I wasn't doing my shoots to get paid. I wasn't doing it just for, stressfully. But when you get professional, when you got to create content for people or companies, you carry more cameras, more lenses, you need a team, you need to edit more, you need to shoot in a certain amount of time so you don't have chance to, losing the moment, losing the lens, losing the camera, losing a card. You have a backup camera, you have external drives, you have storage, you have workflow, you have to have plannings, you have to do everything correctly because you're doing a professional job. It's not fun anymore, it's a job. So think about it like this. If it's a hobby, like this channel, no problem. When it grows, you need to know how to grow it. But if you don't have a plan for that, don't start ever. So if you're thinking this is a career along the way, it might be, but it's not going to be for a long time. And one more thing, when I say people get older, they need to also get retired as well. So they are probably not thinking this as a professional workflow. Think about it. When you start to a company, you just shake hands with, manager or maybe partner of the company, and you just evolve your way around 20 years and you get old. Think about it. First YouTubers, let's just say Linus or MKBHD, let's just, when they say they are 15 or 16 or 18 years old, they started the business. And after 20 years, they got like 40, 45. And even if they don't have a lot of age, they worked a lot of time in a very power consuming, very time consuming, and very stressful business. And like they worked their butt off, let's just say clearly. I know it's not an ethical word, but they worked as hard as a human can work day and night, and they have frustrations along the way because YouTube and content creation didn't have any school like these today in 2024. And for the last 10 to 15 years, everything has tutorials. Everybody is creating tutorials, guides, and even if the paid or unpaid ones. So you can learn a lot faster, but those days you have to respect those guys. They didn't have any teacher, they didn't have any, people in front of them to follow. So right now you're following people, they getting also, retired. That's not abnormal. It's same with every business. When people get old, they teach new stuff to the newcomers and they get old, or they get manager. They become a manager and they leave the desk and the front desk, they go at the back of their room, they manage stuff. That's a business stuff. Again, if I haven't mentioned that, starting in a family house and getting into the studio and paying everything is also one other thing. And one thing is people are missing content creator, good content creator with a lot of skill is actually quite a bit of professional person, because you have to manage yourself, okay, manage your own time, and that's a difficult task for untrained person. These days there are a lot of trainings, of course, and you have to be an entrepreneur, like creating your own business plan. That's a difficult stuff. Not everybody has the skill to do so. And entrepreneurship, even there are a lot of tutorials, it's not something that someone or tutorials in total can teach you completely. So you have to figure your way out along the way. That's another difficulty. So you have to manage money. That's another difficulty. Human relationship difficulty. Creating content and getting the relationship with the viewers, that's another responsibility. So getting all these things together makes you quite a bit of skillful person. If you can manage all this, you're a pretty skillful person, and you can gain money probably in a lot of professional workflow. So in this position, there's another question. How much are you going to gain money working professionally for some big company or for some other region of work, or creating a content that consumes you a lot if you work faster to gain more? So you're going to have to choose between gaining money, spending less time, or gaining less money or same amount of money, but working way harder and managing everything by your own. So that's another difficulty, I guess, very experienced YouTubers are facing. Like they become like 40 years old, 35 to 40 years old. They're getting older. Their family members are, dying and getting ill. They are getting older. Their kids are growing. So they have more responsibility. They need to create time. But creating time in this business, or let's just say black hole that consumes is all like a space hole, so it's difficult to obtain. In the end of the video, all I can say, a lot of the YouTubers, like probably my age generation, are asking the purpose of life, purpose of business, purpose of all things that they can do, but they have missing to do so. Like, because if this is the same thing happening to me, like instead of creating this sort of videos, I can read more books. So I have to choose something, creating content or reading extra book or watching something could teach me something like documentary, or at least just watching something enjoyable instead of creating content, will stealing some time from myself. But that time is I have to be deciding, I have to make the decision for that time, how I'm going to use it. Because let's just face it, we all have a limited time in this earth. So we have come here for a reason. We have to find out that reason. And for that, you have to look up for religions. As a Muslim, no problem on my side. I have looked other religions, books as well. Alhamdulillah, I've compared many of them, so I don't have any problem with my belief. And I'm quite sturdy, alhamdulillah. By the way, if you haven't solved that problem, this time consuming, money consuming, and consuming you kind of like workflow will be psychologically in the long run will hurt you a lot. So before getting in this sort of stuff, I suggest truly find yourself out along the way of professional work, like getting with people, knowing people, professional workflow, get the business ethics and stuff, and then you might want to work this way out as a hobby. And after getting experience with managing businesses, you might be better off. But if you started as a kid, as a hobbyist, a lot of families are pushing their childs, and I'm against it, fully against it, pushing a child to become a social media content creator. I think it's killing them at all. Because ethically, if you just want to spread the knowledge without knowledge, that's kind of like you're trying to, instead of trying to filling your own cup philosophically, learning new stuff, you're trying to teach people. Let's just face it. If a 15 years old person tried to teach you something without a lot of experience on stuff, how do you feel? It's not about your age, but about the experience of that person. It might be good on a new technical stuff, like he or she could have tried that, like review this stuff around a couple of days or weeks, but that's not going to change the way they look. They are excited. It's a brand new product for them. They don't have experience like a MKBHD. Like that guy probably saw every possible smartphone in the market, or Linus Tech Tips. Even though he get excited, he probably seen every shit out. So it's not going to change his opinions. He's going to review the stuff, and he's going to tell you his experience because he got experience. But if you're a kid, what are you going to share? So you're not going to fill the cup, and you're never going to have the time to fill the cup itself. So you're not going to watch others to learn stuff, read from others to learn stuff, to fill your cup, fill your experience. You can learn stuff along the way. Creating a content probably will direct you in a way of like you have to learn stuff to teach stuff. But the problem is, it's like talking to another person. If you too much concentrate on the next thing to say, and that's the content part on yourself, you're not going to listen to the other side. That's the problem. So if you're too much of a focus of creating a content, you can't really absorb what's out there, absorb what already been done. And right now, the train is like this. Everybody creates the hype. Even this video is kind of like a hype. Why people quit from YouTube, it's kind of like a hype video. Even people like me are not going to plan quitting YouTube, is creating content. They are creating content for why people quitting from YouTube. Think about it. We are working with algorithm itself. But in this video, I just want to tell you something different. I am a manager in the daytime, and I am marketing manager. So I do know how the marketing works, how the brands just pays the YouTubers, how they choose in the beginning, how they work with along the road, and how they don't care about too much of ethics. Even if you shout out, bad stuff about their brand, if your hits are okay, many of the big brands don't care. They look at the view and they look at how you work. Some brands do care. I call them sub-brands or ethical brands, but the ethic is going lower. Like probably I said in the beginning of the video, it's the way the system works. You got two options. It's like a train. You have to hold the pipe of a train like a James Bond, Mission Impossible, or in an old days, Indiana Jones kind of style. You're holding a pipe of a train. This train has two speeds, okay? Slow speed is you're not going to care about the views, you're not going to care about the money, you're just going to create casually, and if people follows, that's good for you. And I wish you to follow the channel as well if you learn anything useful out of it. And if you have kids, if you have friends to want to start YouTube, you can tell all of these. You can share this video if this is, you find this video helpful. And the second way to train to go is fast as it can be, like jumping on the wave like a surfer and try to follow that surf line or every wave, that new wave that comes with it. So you have to jump from train to train, okay? Because when this train stops, you have to jump on the next one. It goes faster every time, so you have to hold on tight, and this is a stressful setup, but if you want to decide to go on that road, you're free to go. I believe I've explained a lot of the topics. If we summarize everything and why people want to quit, that's normal on the long run. Money, losing fame, newcomers, making things are difficult for making things exciting for people are difficult, and everything gets easier to buy as camera, as accessories, so people can buy stuff and create really good picture quality content, not like the 10 to 15, maybe 20 years ago. And internet is getting faster, and artificial intelligence is one more thing. Everybody is using it, so creating a text content is getting easy. Even animations and videos is getting easy. That will increase the quantity of content is dramatically, like not linear but exponentially. So if something gets too much of a quantity, the volume would get low. It's like inflation. If the money quantity is too much, then the money is actually not valuable. If some material, if I make this remote control billions, then the value of this will decrease along the quantity. So the similar stuff happens. What these YouTubers are planning to go out can't accept, they want to accept what they don't want to accept. They have certain amount of experience, they certain amount of image quality, production quality. They want to continue this way, but the quality doesn't mean shit to the system. So the system pays to the newcomers with a much more exciting, even though unethical, unlogical, not useful content. They look at the quantity. That's why maybe YouTube also decided to go shorts, because shorts are like TikToks and it's watchable. More people just swipes like Instagram too, but it's not actually useful information. Like if you want to teach people something, it needs to be certain amount of length. Like the beginning of the video and the end of the video has to mean something in a depth to teach people. And one more thing, even if we do it 2x, even if YouTube adds like 5x or 10x, new generation doesn't want to watch something with a detail. You probably skip this video. If you have watched this video until now, I'm very glad you did, and I hope it was useful for you as it was meaningful for me to share this, like over 15 to 20 years of experience. Think of me like MPB HD, but not in front of the camera, but backstage, or Linus, because I've been working in this industry, IT and tech reviewing and stuff, and also managing businesses. So I think I have similar experience with them. Like I've started in a garage or backyard as a hobby, and I worked my way around and graduated from university and stuff. Meanwhile, I worked every day, maybe 12 hours and even more. So it was a stressful time, but this is a casual stuff, just sharing. So don't push the kids to become content creator. Instead of that, just push them as hard as they can, fill their own cups, and understand the world that they are living in. They could be managers for social media, but pushing them content creators are not going to make them feeling good about themselves. And I guess that's about it. There are a lot to be said, probably ethically, philosophically, not more stuff that people probably created 10 to 15 years of content. But it comes down to the couple of bullets, I guess. Let me know what you think at the comment section below, if you agree or not. And I'm sharing this information because, you know, I have been sponsoring the YouTube channels. I have been paying for customers to, you know, YouTube channels, managing social media accounts for different brands and stuff. I don't think it's fair for experienced people to, you know, stay away from this business and getting out quit. It's not a good thing, because we want to see more experienced people in businesses, any kind of business, if this is business for them. But still, we have to understand and accept them, because they have probably spent 10 to 15 years. And this is kind of like getting retirement time. They have to spend some time with their families and their own to figure out what's coming next. And some of them have made enough money, so that could be also acceptable for them to like giving up. But the ones that don't have enough money to build, you know, paying their bills or mortgages and stuff, they have to work still hard. So if you truly believe a content creator, that they are honest and they are experienced enough and they are sharing their knowledge with you without getting, you know, dirty side of things, like getting paid and give you false knowledge, I think you should follow them and support them as much as you can. But by the way, one more thing that we should be considering: when we comment on any YouTuber, okay, any content creator, we are watching it for free from YouTube. Even if you have a YouTube Plus, it doesn't mean anything. Like, you're paying quite a bit of cheap money, but you're watching a dedicated time of an experienced person or person with enthusiasm, giving the effort, shooting the video, editing, voiceovering, preparing the text, and doing all sort of things, and then sharing with you, uploading that, giving the keywords, thumbnails and stuff. All these procedures, you have to respect the content. If it's not just shoot it with a phone and just upload it quickly, just to make fun of some stuff. But if it's a knowledgeable, informational video, I think we all have to respect to each other. So next time when you comment to anybody, just try to respect as much as you can. That's how I think that's how this becomes more ethical and more growthable for the future. I know it became like a long, detailed TED Talk style, or whatever that you want to call this. But I hope this video helped. If you ever thought about getting into YouTube, I'm not saying you don't, but know all these and then decide for yourself. Hope to see you in the next video. Home cinema and tech review. Again, this video is quite late, later 12 late at night after the kids sleep. So subscribe and like will be good, and say hi, at least say some comment, because YouTube loves really comments and interactions. And hope to see you in the next video. Home cinema and tech review. Bye.